Now, welcome back. We're going to start talking about triangles and properties of triangles. So, of course, we know that a triangle is a three-sided shape. So it has three sides and three angles. I kept going with the base of this because I want to talk about what we call the external angle on a triangle as well. So A, B, and C are internal angles or interior angles. And D is an external angle. Right, an external angle is one that's on the outside of the triangle like this. And the first property that we have of triangles is that the sum of the three interior angles is always equal to, I think you already know this, 180 degrees. Okay, so the angle A added to the angle B added to the angle C will give us 180 degrees. That's a theorem. We will later write down the names of the theorems. You don't have to prove any of them, all collected together. But for the moment, it's an important property of triangles as well, and we'll be using it soon. The second property of triangles is that an external angle is equal to the sum of, sum means add, the two, not all three of them, but the two opposite interior angles. So this is our external angle theorem. That's really important as well. Now, what does that mean? That means D, C is not opposited, right? C is supplementary, it's added on to it. So it's these guys that are across from D. Those two angles there. That means that in this case, D is equal to A and B added together. Okay, and that's really important. Two really important properties of triangles that we need to know. Now, let's just name the types of triangles that we could have. And the different types of triangles we could have are a triangle where all three sides are equal. Now, I'm saying that they're equal in my picture, but it's not a great picture. But I'm indicating that they are all the same by using these little dashes. When the sides are equal, the angles are also equal, and we call this an equilateral triangle. In maths, it's fine to draw the shape of a triangle rather than writing the word. It's completely acceptable. So an equilateral triangle has equal sides and equal angles. And you can divide it into two equal right-angled triangles. Okay, so if I have an equilateral triangle, all three sides the same, and if I divide it down the middle, like this, then this triangle and this triangle will be the same. They'll have all the same angles, they'll have all the same side lengths. They won't be equilateral triangles themselves, but they'll be the same as each other. Now, the next kind of triangle we want to talk about is where only two sides are the same. Like this. Down a bit more. This one's ending up being more like an equilateral triangle. So two sides the same and one of them not the same. The two angles that match the two sides, I sometimes call them the base angles, are also equal. But the third angle is not. Okay? Excuse me. And this is called an isosceles triangle. This has two equal sides and the base angles are equal. And just like my equilateral triangle, I can divide this into two equal right-angled triangles, rats. So if I have an isosceles triangle, I can split it down the middle into two equal right-angled triangles. So this triangle, not a great diagram, and this triangle would be the same. Which brings us on to the third type of triangle, a right-angled triangle, which we're very familiar with from coordinate geometry and trigonometry. And it doesn't necessarily have to be isosceles or anything like that. Okay, so this is called a right-angled triangle. And so called because it has a 90-degree angle in it. The longest side across from the right angle, is called the hypotenuse. And in English, we don't use a name for the other two sides. They do have a name, they're called cathetos, but we never use that, so we just call them the other two sides. Now, the acute angles, the other two angles will always be acute, and the acute angles in a right-angled triangle will always add up to 90 degrees as well, because all of them have to add to 180, so A and B will always add up to 90 degrees. Okay, we have loads of facts about right-angled triangles, but that's the main one for the moment. Now, the last type of triangle might be a triangle with no two sides the same. So all sides and all angles are different from each other, and that's called a scalene triangle. All sides different and all angles different. The only fact that we really have about this is that the longest side is opposite the biggest angle. And the shortest side is opposite the smallest angle. Okay, so here's my longest side, and there's my biggest angle, so we can know that as a fact. Right, I'm going to stop there for today. And you can let me know if there's anything that you didn't understand or any questions that you want to ask. And I'll upload some homework for you in Google Classroom. I'll write it down here, but I'll put it up in Google Classroom as well. It's going to be page 305 to 306 and questions 1 to 8. Quite a lot of questions there, but I actually think you'll go through them quite quickly. And in the new book, that's pages 324 to 325. Now, okay, so best of luck with that, and let me know if there's anything that you have questions on. Thank you.